This is a creative representation of the 21st Century Science article. Hi, Tammy.
Hi.
Thanks for showing us through science through your eyes. It looks like you have a lot of different powders, liquids, and other materials. Could you explain what those materials are and what exactly the science that you're going to be doing today is?
Okay, well today I'm going to be making bath fizzies. I make these a lot. I like the idea that you can make them out of natural ingredients. There are dry ingredients and wet ingredients. This is what we're using. We're using baking soda. This softens the water, and if you have any itching in your skin, that will soothe your skin. The cornstarch is a bonding agent for the bath fizzies, so they stay together, and it also makes the water a little bit thicker so that you get more of a relaxing bath. This is Epsom salt. It's just plain pure Epsom salt. You're using this. It takes. It also helps like relieve muscle tension, anything like that. It removes impurities from your pores. And citric acid, which is the fun one. That's the one that makes the bath bomb fizz. Once the reaction, that's what, when it mixes with the water, makes the fizzing happen. We use oil. I use castor oil. I think it's kind of gotten a bad rap because it sounds icky. But this is for a bonding agent, and it keeps your skin nice and smooth. We have natural essential oils. These are important just because it gives the nice aromatherapy, the science of smelling and herbs and just making
So you
yourself
have
feel good
different
through
scents for different ones.
different scents for different things. If you want to relax, use lavender. If you're feeling a little stuffy, you can use some eucalyptus. If
So
you
those are
want some
plant-based.
energy, exactly. These are all natural, and it's a good natural way to energize, relax, relieve your system. And I use soap coloring. I don't use food coloring because it tends to get on your skin. I've experimented a lot with using food coloring, and it kind of can be a disaster sometimes.
So I noticed that you have quite a few different measuring utensils and some whisking tools, it looks like, and some spatulas and some more measuring tools. It looks like you also have an ingredient list, and could you explain a little bit quickly about that?
Sure. What we're going to do is we're going to mix the dry ingredients in one bowl, the wet in the other, so it doesn't start the fizzing reaction. And then I'll show you as I'm mixing them together how you do it. You have to do it very quickly or the chemical reaction will start, and you don't want that to start until the bath bomb hardens and you put it in your tub. So it's kind of one of those things that can go really horribly wrong, and has gone really horribly wrong for me. But you have to just kind of do it quickly and even it out, which I'll show you how to do.
Okay, thank you. And now we're going to actually start preparing the bath fizzies.
Okay, we're going to do 1 cup of baking soda. And then we're going to switch to a 1/2 cup, and we're going to do 1/2 cup cornstarch. I'm going to do it over the sink because this stuff can be really messy. And as I said before, this is thicker, and this is part of what the bonding agent is, and this is going to thicken the water for when you're in the tub relaxing. I'm going to use our 1/2 cup of Epsom salt, the red, and then the citric acid. When you're working with citric acid, it's really not as scary as it sounds being called acid, but you do want to keep it out of your eyes and your mouth.
Okay, so if my kids could in a classroom could feasibly do this project, so you'd suggest wearing some eye protection or
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like I'm wearing an apron right now. That's mostly just to keep the dry ingredients from getting splopped all over me. This you want to mix really good. I use metal mixing bowls. I think that they work the best, but I've separated. You can see it's a little dusty. And just mix it. And that should be good. Leave the whisk inside. Okay, now we need 5 tablespoons of our castor oil, or teaspoons, excuse me. This stuff will leak on the bottom, so I always put a little paper towel out. There have been times when I've used too much or not enough of this. If you don't use enough liquid, they get really brittle and they fall apart easily. And if you use too much, they kind of over fizz and they won't fizz in the tub.
Okay, so you've tried and had trials and tribulations on what actually works and what doesn't?
Trials and tribulations is a good way to put it. There's been a lot of experimenting. I also found that using the recommended amount for a batch like this of 2 tablespoons of scent makes it really, really strong and can be really hard to even stay in the bath and enjoy it. So I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of the scent. So I'm going to just do a little less than 1 tablespoon of lemon. And then I'm also going to do lime. And that'll make 1 tablespoon. The lemon lime is a really good refreshing, it's uplifting and it's energizing. So that makes for a really good bath bomb. If you were here, you could smell it already. It's awesome.
Yeah, it smells great.
It is awesome. So just be sure you're working on a surface where the oil isn't going to get everywhere, because that can happen. Paper towels are important. So now we're going to use 2 tablespoons of water. You can just use tap water. Put it in. And we've got the scent, and if we were making multiple batches, we would also want to tell them apart. So I use the color to do that. So if I did lavender, I would do purple. But I'm just going to put a few drops of the green soap color. It doesn't turn out super bright. So then you mix that really well too, because the oil and the water don't really want to mix. Like oil and water sometimes don't.
Yep. Smells great.
Yeah. So you want to mix this up, and now it's the fun part. The other reason that I like to use this kind of bowl is that as I'm start working things in, the bowl will spin, and it helps me get the mixture right. I'm going to actually stop for a minute and show you that you can even see that it starts to fizz if you don't mix it in quickly enough. If you catch it and you keep mixing, it just makes your bath bomb a little less fizzy, but I did want to show you what it looks like to some extent. When you do it the wrong way, when you do it the right way. Well, I guess there is no wrong way to do it. Sometimes it just makes a big fun mess. So you take your spatula, get all of that out of there. Little fizzy's happening. And then whisk it like crazy.
Go.
Okay, now that we've got it mixed up, we want to make sure it's kind of a consistency of almost like kinetic sand, if you've ever played with that, so it will form. So then you get a mold. You can use a soap mold, or you could use a little cupcake tin or whatever you want. And you want to press the powder in. Powder's going to need to take overnight.
Okay, so it sets up in overnight.
Yeah. Takes about 24 hours. You can always check on them. You'll know if there's too much moisture because they'll just start fizzing all over everything.
So I noticed that you're doing this by yourself, and that you've, obviously have kind of perfected the style that you like, yeah, and the recipe that you like. If I had a classroom of science, of children in science class, could they do this as kind of a group effort to make them?
Absolutely. You could have a team of people thinking about colors and scents. You could have a team of people doing the dry ingredients in separate bowls, and a team of people mixing up the wet ingredients and putting the scents and corresponding colors so that you can just add them to the bowls. There could also be groups of people putting them into the molds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then it could be a collaborative effort. And then also the end result would be gifts they could bring home to their families if they wanted to, correct?
Certainly. You can also make them without without scents and without dyes for anyone that's sensitive to those things. Some people, children, are allergic.
And so, what are the benefits of these?
A nice relaxing, everything all together. So the cornstarch has made the water thicker, so you're having a nice thick bath, weightless. You have the salt, you have everything working together, and it's just a good relaxing project to make, and it's super nice to have these at home at the end of the day. It's less expensive than buying them, and it's a super fun project.
Yeah, so it looks like the equipment used isn't that expensive and doesn't look. Is the material affordable?
This is anything you can find in your kitchen, with the exception of the citric acid, which you can get at any co-op, and I've ordered online. It's not expensive, but because it weighs less, if you buy it in bulk, it's a better deal.
Okay. So now what are you gonna do?
Well, now I've got this set in the mold to show you how that works, and I have another bath bomb that I made previous.
Oh, so it's got a design on it, and
So it's got a little design on it, and here's a bottle of some water. So we're gonna go ahead and put it in there, and it'll show you a little bit what it's gonna do in your bathtub. So you just leave that in when you pour it. You can see the oil coming around the top, and that's what smooths your skin. Kids love these.
yeah, it looks like a fun project.
Yeah, it makes bath time super fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for spending your time and your science with us, Tammy.